Okay. Uh, Hi guys. Welcome back to one of my streams. Um, yeah, this one will be in English, um, and um, and today we will do something different, other than playing old games. So today we will take a look to Serenity OS, as you may notice by this streaming title or video, if you will end up seeing the playback on YouTube. And um, Serenity is a really interesting uh, operative system written in C++ by Andreas Kilng and a lot of other people around the globe, since this is an open source project. But before we move on, I would like to tell you that I really like low-level stuff, like bootloaders, OS dev, and I'm really excited to take a look um, into the source code, um, and see if we can contribute it into some way. Okay. So without further ado, let's jump into the desktop scene. So Serenity OS.org is the homepage for the project. So as you may notice, the look and feel of the page is as the as a vibe from the 90s. Okay, so and all of the UI of the project, as you can see on this paragraph, is the goal of the project is create a modern operative system following modern approach and models, but um, with the love and the user experience and the look and feel from the 90s, from the whole Windows 95, and the early versions of X Server on Linux, and GNOME and that kind of stuff. So, or even before GNOME, in fact. Um, so this project exploded a bit on the few months ago, um, because Andreas, which is the main developer and creator of the project, um, not streams, but uploads videos to YouTube in a regular basis since maybe 2 years ago, or a bit more, with the progress and and live coding the system. So Andreas is a really experienced guy in C++. He already worked on Apple, specifically on the WebKit team. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he's already working on the Kitty team. So yeah, all C++ to the head, or to the bone. Um, the research recently, Andreas left his job in some company in Sweden. Um, Andreas is Swedish. Um, and is fully committed and full time, um, working full time in the project. Okay. So that's quite remarkable and really awesome, uh, because this is that kind of stuff. So you have a passion, and you start creating something as a hobby, and you end up having the opportunity to work on it full time. So that is really awesome. As you can see, there is another name here, which is Linus Crew, I believe, is that we pronounce this way. And Linus has contributed a lot to the project. And recently, Andreas put him in charge of making uh, not only code reviews, because code reviews can be done by anyone in the project, but accept it and merge it into the main branch. So it's a huge responsibility. So there is a huge community around the project. You can go into Discord and enter on Serenity OS. Um, I don't know how this call this workspace maybe. Yeah, well, like Slack. Yeah, on the Serenity workspace, there is a lot of channels that you can interact with people, and also talk about off topics, and you have a channel per area of the system. Recently, I'm taking special attention to the browser channel. Okay, so um, as you can see, I have some conversations some days ago about the topic. That is a topic that I will talk about on this video. Um, and and let me build uh, let, let me build a project really quickly. I think I can. Okay. If you don't know what this application is Flipcord. Okay, Flipcord is an alternative client native one, not elect invasive to discuss. Okay, to record while the project compiles. It will take a bit longer because I pulled some changes yesterday, but I already see there is even more changes here for us to pull in. So in fact, I will cancel this and just get the latest version out of the master branch in the origin. Okay, as you can see, we are already on the top, on the head of the master. Let's run again. There is some changes to the CMake file, so it's generating new ones. Okay. So as you can see, there is a lot of files to compile due to the changes that we pull in. Yeah, usually it compiles only the files affected by your changes, but since there is a lot of work in different areas and components of the project, um, there is a lot of fast changes per commit, as you can see really quickly here. Okay, so where you can find before that report. Okay, okay, cancel.fm slash report, and we have the clients for Windows, Mac, and also for Linux. Okay, where you can find the source code on GitHub. Okay, you can navigate to github.com/Serenity OS/Serenity, and you find the source code for the entire project. How this is divided, okay? Okay, when you have the base folder, and the base folder contains the files that will be put it in the image, on the disk image, okay? As you can see, there is, for example, static files, some HTML files that will be loaded by the browser on the startup, and you have the documentation here. Will be good to have more documentation for each component, but unfortunately there is no time to do that on this heavy development phase, which the project is currently in. So after that we have the kernel folder directory, and on the kernel directory you will find, as the name says, everything kernel related. Okay, the low level stuff can be found here, like how the code to interact with the ACPI, all the architecture code for the different architectures, to deal with the devices like the USB, the file system support. I believe with XCT2. I don't know if it supports that. Maybe not. Yeah, is XT2. Graphics interrupters. I think this should show these modules, the kernel extensions, maybe. Yeah, it's it's the kernel extensions. So you can create modules and load them into the kernel space during startup, network, PCI, storage, system calls. This is for the terminal emulation, tasks, time, virtual memory, and virtual input and output. Okay. Then we have the meta. Meta is all the scripts needed to build the system and test things. There is a really interesting folder, ports. Port has a lot of ported games, executables, and libraries that currently runs on Serenity. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. You can see on YouTube Kilng porting Diablo, for example. Yeah, you have Doom, Of course, yeah, every good all the operative system runs too. Okay, that's the toolchain. So you need to create. So for me to build a system, this will take a lot of time, more than I expected. Yeah, but in order to build a system, you need to um, you need to create a toolchain. What what is a toolchain? The toolchain creates a set of tools, compilers, for example, ECT, that will build the your code into an executable. Um, this will also create a cross tool chain. Uh, so it's a compiler that is able to build executables to run inside Serenity. Okay, so it's very interesting. And we have the user land. User land, you can find all the applications available on the system that the guys already built. And there is an interesting for libraries where you will find all the libraries to to the user by uh, by the applications. Okay, you have a lot of really interesting libraries. For example, you have a Crypto. Uh, so here you can find hatches. For example, you can find MD5. I think here you have a MD5 implementation here. Okay. Really interesting. Okay. Um, SHA-2, SHA-1. Um, I don't know where it is, but you can also find the TLS. I don't know the place. Yeah, okay, with TLS. Yeah, we have an attempt to implement TLS. Okay, the system currently supports TLS 1.2, um, which is really good because a lot of servers already currently supports um, TLS 1.2. Unfortunately, this will not work with my with my website. Okay? And this is a currently this is a work in progress, so there is some parts that are missing, but there is already a lot of really good work done by everyone to implement TLS. So it's amazing because all of these implementations are built by scratch, from scratch. So there is no dependencies, external dependencies to the project. So um, that is amazing. So this is a major undertaking to achieve this. Yeah. So I found a missing feature. Actually, I think it's a bug because the guy already told me that that was working before. Um, but currently the browser doesn't redirect when the system the HTTP headers ask it to. For example, yeah, and we will not be able to show the system today. I don't know if I have the time. Oh, God, my yeah, forget my shell sometimes goes really slow. Okay, so if I use curl to get only the others with the high arguments, if I call my domain on my website, so it's okay, this one. If I use here's.io, it will ask me to redirect permanently um, to HTTPS. Okay, so if I call my website with HTTP crossing HTTP, it will ask always to redirect to HTTPS. Okay. The same thing happens on the browser. So in this case, I have Firefox configured to always try HTTPS first and prevent me to access HTTP websites. So we will not see it in action here. But but in fact, this will always happen regarding the browser, because I have Cloudflare in front of the website to always redirect to HTTPS. Claro que é casar contigo. Sim. So let's see progress. Yeah, we have a lot of path to cross to walk, but yeah, the main let me try one thing while this compiles. I don't know if I have the previous files ready to run on Kilng. Let's see. Okay, maybe. Where are you, Kilng? Okay, Kilng it's here. Okay, yeah, system is loading. Yeah, this is really small on Mac, and mainly because it's smaller than slower than usual, because I'm streaming. So the screen capture takes a lot of resources on the latest, mainly on the latest version of macOS, Big Sur, or like like a I like to call it a bug sur. Okay, so this is Serenity running. Okay, as you can see, it's a really old fashion way uh, to present the things and to interact the system. You have a start menu like Windows 95, but the project is really uh, I will not like it to call it complete, because it isn't uh, ready per se. You are not able to use it as a daily driver, but as a lot of complex features already implemented. Okay, this is the file manager. So you can see here, ooh, WASM tests. Interesting. You already have WASM working? That will be really, really fun to explore. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is the binary uh, of WebAssembly. Binary. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I think to take a look later. Okay. Let's open the browser. Yeah, this system already implements a TCP. The TCP IP stack. Okay, so it can access the web, and we have a really interesting under development browser that yeah, that I don't know. It's quite funny to see uh, a set of people, group of people developing a really huge and complex stuff like the browser is today. There is a lot of standards to implement to support the modern web. It's no longer the 90s. I was trying to navigate to the Serenity OS. Let's yeah, yeah this is really slow right now because we are screen capturing and compiling the binaries, the compiling source code. Yeah, okay. So as you can see, uh, the page loads really well. If you take a look, compare it. Okay. We just have some small adjustments to do. For example, the size of the headers are not quite right. The font is not right. More this space maybe. Yeah. There is some issues with the margin here, but it's really interesting to see all of this. Okay, we have a crash. We have a crash reporter too. So this is really cool. You can see the environment variables are used by the process in this case, we have the bin by content, which is a worker of the browser responsible to render. We have the state of the CPU registers. Okay, this can be useful to know which parts of the code is being executed when the crash happens. For example, the instruction pointer, so you can go to the exactly the function that crashed it. And you have the backtrack, for example, to look to the instruction pointer, okay, and you can see the previous, yeah, the previous executed uh, function that crashed. Okay. So it bit. Actually, it seems to be a system call, and on this syscall.ctp line 24. So this crash reporter was a really um, uh, addition to the project, because with this um, you can see in the easier way. You you always can go to the console and take a look on the on on the on the reports. But this is a really fun, interesting way to debug the problems. Okay. So this is a modifier binary, so this will redirect just well, okay, because I force it on the code. Okay, so but the the way that I implemented the fix is more a neck than a fix. So let's try to implement something more robust. Okay, the compiler is almost over. So let's power off our machine and open the code using CLI. I'm using the AAP version of CLI because I don't have the license, so this is a preview version. It can contain um, uh, some issues, bugs, performance issues, and since I am not using it to professional reasons, there is, at least for what I know, any problem uh, on using it for this kind of work. Okay, so we already explored the directory structure and the structure file structure of the project, so there is no need to go through it again. So when before I do the trick to do the redirect and assume this and compiling, we can take a look on the on the on the error, original error. But when you access my website without the HTTPS explicitly put it on the URL, and since the server forces to redirect to HTTPS and you try to access using HTTP, there is no content on the page. Okay, so the browser said the page crashed because error no data. Okay, so how we can, so now we have the CLion trying to index new files. So this will, the system is really slow. A lot of heavy stuff happening at the same time. Streaming, compiling, indexing. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but let's take a look. We will try to find on the project the no data error message, and we can find it on the frame loader CPP. Okay. So first of all, I didn't touch on C++ for ages. Okay. In fact, I never fully developed my skills in C++. I already wrote some code some years ago, and I had a hobby operative system that I was developing myself, but it was really a really small portion of the code because all the kernel was written in C, and the C++ the part was only for the drivers and libraries to be used by uh, applications. So it was more high level stuff. And that was very really early stage of the project, so there was no really complex things happening. So let's focus here for a moment. We have the no data error that's that we can find on the browser when we access a website that forces a redirect with no content. Okay. Let's wait a moment because uh, the code just finished from compiling, so we may be able to create the binary and run it on Kilng. I hope the performance will be a bit better. This step will throw an error that is some kind of problem with the OXX fuse that we are using to emulate ext2 on macOS, since macOS doesn't support that file system by default. And this is a way to support it, and there is some kind of stuff forming there. Okay, yeah, let's wait to the script creating the new file system image. Okay, yeah, there is the failure, but ignore it. And now the system is starting up. Yeah. I think it's a little bit faster this time. Yeah, just a little. Yeah. This computer is no way good to stream and emulate at the same time. Okay. Okay. Cool. This is the default. This is the default welcome page of the Serenity browser. Now, if I go to drill.io, we will see the error noted. So let's try to work around this. Okay, let's stop the emulation, and that error corresponds to this error here. And under recent change, let's show the blame. I don't know the. Yeah. Okay. Under recent change, Kilng implemented the support for redirect, and there is also a code here that is used to prevent too many redirects. Yeah. Okay. So we have a maximum of redirects. Let's take a look. Yeah, is a constant that defines when we surpass 20 redirects in a row. the page will crash with the too many redirects. Okay, so let's analyze it. We have a new branch here that will that gets the resource. Okay, gets the response headers of the resource and get the specific header location. Okay. Let's go back here and do the curl again, and we can see the location header is the one that tells us to the new URL to redirect to. So this variable already contains the location that we want to navigate to, and also if there is a value, okay, if there is a value, because this is a possibility, this is an optional, maybe. Yeah, it's an optional. Okay, now C++ already implements optionals like Rust, for example. It's not as funny as the Rust ones. I prefer Rust for miles compared to the C++, but yeah, that doesn't matter to here. So we need to work in every language and face any challenge with no fear. So we have the location we already have as a string containing the new address that we want to go to, and this as value will check if the location, the optional has value. Okay, there is a condition to check if we already specified the total number of redirects. We have an increment to the current count of redirects, and we navigate. Okay, we navigate to the new location. So the logic is already in place to redirect when we have a location header. So why this is not working? Okay. This is not working because on basics of this nav, let's hide the lane, don't need it anymore, just to see the timelines. Okay. You can see this new code was added. What this new code says when get the resource and check if the resource has encoded data. What is this encoded data? This encoded data checks if the body part of the HTTP response is empty. And in fact, it is, because if we go to the code and ask for the content, we don't have any content. If I requested the right code, the right command, you can see if I request google.com for the content, he will say he will respond also with a redirect. Okay, it's a new location because Google wants you to have the www part on the URL. Okay, so now if we go to curl and request that URL, we get all the source code and the HTTP response from google.com. Okay. So, but when we access my website, just one more time, user is not here. There is no code. Okay. So this is preventing us from to move forward. So this check doesn't matter when we have a redirect. Okay. So the only thing that we need to do theoretically is to move it to this place, because here we already need to know the MIME types of the content. So before we analyze it, we check if we actually have data and if this makes sense to uh, do. Okay, so if we try to compile uh, the code again, as you can see, we have less file changes now because we're changing the libweb. Okay, you can see libweb. And libweb is used by our program, so we need to ensure that we compile all the source code dependent on the libweb. So, but only that code. Let's just wait a bit for this to compile. Yeah, I'm really thinking I'm getting affiliate major. Yeah, because a lot of course, really the modern hardware. And go back to Linux as well, of course. Yeah. Take your time. You can wait. I don't have all the time of the world that will be a lie because is is almost lunchtime and I need to get some groceries to prepare my meal. Okay, it's now creating the the base image to be executed by Kilo. And now Kilo. Okay, great. Let's open the browser. So the default web page works just fine, as usual. And now we'll go to 0 members.io and dot. And enter. And as you can see, we redirected to HTTPS. Okay. So if we google.com, it loads the HTTP again. But if we go to google.com with HTTPS, signal is here, it's already redirects to HTTPS. This crash is not being caused by our code change. This is something else that is happening on the other part. Yeah, I don't know what is happening. I will need to dig deeper on this. Okay, but our goal is complete. We just wanted to dot wanted to highlight, so it's that. So why this is not loaded? Let's see on the chat. Okay, focus on this part on the request set. Okay, why this is not working? Because we have a handshake failure. Okay, the cipher that my website is supports is not recognized by Serenity. Okay, so this will need further investigation to see which cipher it is and how can we implement it. Okay. I don't know if I'm able to see the shape. Can we call the URL TLS shape? Okay, let's see. We can find the cipher. Maybe the battery just yeah. HTTPS. Okay. Okay, we have all the information about the TLS here. Okay, the handshake starts here. The client says load, the server also says load. They share the certificate. So there is a key exchange. Finish. Okay. Change the cipher specification, but which cipher is this one? Type that info. Maybe we could open an SSL. See if I can find it. I'm no expert in any manner on this, so we are on the explore. Cipher is none. Um, um, Whoa. Really? So much. Okay. Take a look on this website. Okay, while this is processing, we can go here and read the contribution guidelines. to see how we can contribute to the project because we created things. Okay, so if you are not sure about it, open issue so we can discuss it. Yeah, so let's start something small. Okay. So this project uses C++. We didn't write a new code. We just moved some lines around to fix the code, so no problem with it. Okay. 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 Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what we need to do first, create a form. Let's fork the project. We already have some information for us. So this is the TLS protocols supported by the server, and these are the ciphers. So the Serenity uses TLS 1.2. So we need to make sure that Serenity supports one of the ciphers here. We can take a quick look after we submit a pull request. Okay, so we already created a fork, so we need to copy the origin. And we did it remote add fork. Okay, and now we will create it, which create, let me see if there is any pattern on the branch name. Let's see. It doesn't matter because we are using fork, so we can follow our pattern. Yeah. Fix live web. It's not only HTTPS, it's all of it. Yeah. Okay. Now let's take a look on our changes. We just moved a block of code around. Yeah. So fix. Okay, now this matters. We need to know the commit naming conventions. Okay, they put the components and start with the capital letters. So we change code on label. Okay. And what our code does is fix redirect and response as no. Okay. And please makes redirect word when the HTTP server responds with just others and then take it. Okay. On top, deleting, commit, and now let's use fork. Let's say that we want to push the fork and create and drop the branch. Now we go to GitHub. We have the new branch here, and we can create a request. Let me take a look if there is any pattern on the pull request content. So we follow the same guidelines to the other people, and no need. So respond with just okay, create pull request. So, and this is the first contribution that I did to the Serenity project. Yeah, I'm quite happy and excited. Yeah. So let's just take a deeper look at the power of this. Let's just take a deeper look on the cipher. If we can understand this, the ciphers that the system currently supports. I don't make it where I need to start, but maybe something related. Oh, cipher suite. Okay, this is an interesting name. Okay, it looks like this is all the ciphers that we currently support, and do we support those? Yeah, this have code. No users from all places. Okay. We need to find where this is used. Okay, on the handshake server. Let's close everything else. There's nothing to do with the cipher. Okay. Of the cipher, you convert between OS and network and DNS. And the output is a cipher. When we test if we support the cipher or not, this is the yellow. We have the output here. Yeah. Let's take a look. We are alerted of a critical handshake. Possible failure causes no cipher suite in command with shields elements that are okay, no cipher suites. Let's try to find these. Two places. Server is also secure. Okay, this is the first one. And shape failures. I did not. Oh, this is too many places. Record. Yeah, this is usable. Record. Don't seem right, in fact. Let's try. We will be looking at the client. So let's have the cipher support. Okay. AES. Shasha 20. Yes. I need to take a deeper look on this. TC, where it comes. Yeah, but now it's time for me to go because I need to buy some stuff to hit. Also, I need to. It's not me waiting for meeting. I have to. Yeah, okay. This is an interesting thing for us to look into another time. Yeah, the test is still running, waiting. Yes. Okay. I hope you like it. This first episode. And if you speak Portuguese, you can speak it because I'm Portuguese. Um, um, and we can also discuss what we are doing on our language as well. Yeah, I hope you like it, this introduction to some kind of exploration to, to Serenity and our first contribution. Yeah, see you next time on the future video. I hope you have a great Sunday and a good week as well. See you.